Hey, aloha mai kako, one and all, adepts and initiates, all those who are tuning in, grand rising and great tidings, Kilamau Tengan here on day 16 of Materializing Wealth. So we have been busy with all kinds of things and all kinds of things have been happening. I want to spend today really just focusing on a very specific part of this whole concept of materializing wealth. We're still in that whole area of, let's see, is that straight? That's straight-ish. Yeah. Okay. Of the authentic exchange. Now, when I'm talking about the authentic exchange, one of the things that I really wanted to point out and to really identify, let me just move this down just here. Okay. Authentic exchange are those two parts in terms of authenticity. This is the area of really our own space and place of our empowered leadership, if you will. It's us being really connected at that intrapersonal level, that relationship that we have and is held within. And the true value of that. What is the value that we bring to the world? And what does that look like in terms of a service? Now, as I talked about it before, that relates to going one level down, if you will, our aligned genius. Now, our aligned genius is a really important piece to really talk about because that is where the what, the who, and the how we show up, all of it together, because what this aligned genius is it is cross-section of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body system, the four body system. I'm going to spend a lot more time on that today because what this then eventually moves into is effectively what is known as our collective legacy. And all of these are connected. All of these are related. In fact, our collective legacy is where we have a seat at an ever-expanding table of intentionality. And that place is held for specifically our aligned genius in the context of this legacy work. The collective that comes together are the people that help to really realize whatever it is that is our holding, as well as our capacity to support others in theirs too. So the period of lone wolfing it, for me who's more or less been a lone wolf for the majority of my life, is over. Those systems are going to fail. And so what we're looking at is basically something bigger than any one person. And as such, we really want to really look at this in terms of the aligned genius, because this is ultimately going to move forward. The only way that it can indeed move forward is together. And so that's where our authentic exchange really comes into play, as we're tying into this, and it leads eventually into that. Now, I say all this because I'm going to hop behind my computer now and go a little bit more into what that collective legacy, or rather aligned genius, actually looks like. Now, let's see if I can pull this all off. Close that, share this, open that. All right. I am hoping that you are seeing, whoops, not that, wrong button. I am hoping that you're seeing this image here. In fact, I'm just going to double check against this on that side and make sure that that all goes well. Let me pull that up and out. Okay. Now I'm intending that you can see this. So what this is effectively my own process as it is best represented here. Let's kind of get out a little bit from there. That's represented here on screen. And what this is the layout of what is called our aligned genius. And I'm looking between screens right now just to make sure that you're able to see this. I might go a little bit bigger, actually. Yeah, that looks good. Let me just make sure that this comes out well, because I'm going to go into some of the specifics of this. Again, the aligned genius is the cross section of our four body system. It is a mix of our energetic patterns. These are the archetypes and the universal principles that we embody, our intuitive talents. This is what we're here to do. If our first part is really who we are, we're the culmination of these principles, the embodiment of it. What we do is held in the mental body. And the mental body is and are our intuitive talents. And again, we have access to all four of these. And through our incarnational cycles coming into form, we've developed a certain area, a certain proficiency, a certain speciality. For example, my lineup is energetic kinesthetic, psychic, empath. And so because of that, my two areas of greatest connectivity is that energetic kinesthetic piece. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Coming from there, then also goes into our emotional body, which is our core values. These are the things that, really inspire us most in our lives. It brings life, the very vitalizing force of creation itself into our very cells. And our transferable skills are the things that we have done and maybe continue to do in our lives as an actual skill set. And these are the capabilities and abilities not only that we have, that we're able to do. It is also indeed what uplifts us, something that we find fulfilling because we can have these different skill sets. I can build a tremendous spreadsheet, which is, right in front of us. And I don't really enjoy doing that all the time. Just because I can doesn't mean that I should. And in this concept of collective legacy, which is going to be, for a lot of people, a difficult thing to really wrap our minds around, because we have been conditioned, especially in Western culture, to do things on our own. And that intricately ties for many people, especially those who sit in the masculine, to a sense of value, that we prove ourselves. That period is done. And so we're moving on to something else. And so this concept of collective legacy, which we'll get into in a different principle, is, though, a very important part of all this. I digress. Anywho, so here we are. I can see that it is appearing well on screen. And so this here is our aligned genius. Aligning with what? Effectively our higher self. Genius is what implies that. In Roman times, the concept of genius was a tutelary spirit. And in this case, I really focus upon that as our higher self, as our guide, our guardian, and our ally, our teacher in all of this. So as we look at this then in terms of these different parts, in the red here, this is a matter of our energetic or spiritual body, which are archetypal or energetic patterns. Yellow is our mental body, and that's our intuitive talents. Blue is our emotional body, our core values. Green is our physical body and transferable skills. The skill set we have developed in this lifetime, which is a little different than our intuitive talents, which is effectively the skill set that we have developed throughout multiple lifetimes. That's a fun topic, huh? Anyway, so down here then, and this is all my information. And so what we have here then is sort of a scale at the top. That's just a very simple pictorial representation of it. Down here, though, is where the good stuff starts to come into play. Now, patterns, then, this is information, and this always, we're able to discern all of this through a questionnaire, still in its beta testing that I've developed. However, here, evolutionary. So what this really looks at then is and are my own talents. Evolutionary is effectively my primary archetypal pattern or energetic pattern. Who I am, naturally, is to evolve these different systems. And when I say systems, it's like systems of everyday life. We're talking politics, economics, relationship, parenting, dynamics in family. I mean, all these things. Anything that I come encounter with, I want to evolve it in my life. And so that's effectively the main part of my who I am. Now going down next, here is the talents. Probably should color code this as well. And so for me, as an energetic kinesthetic, energetics, when we start to talk about that, we're talking about the very fundamental aspects of creation itself. We're talking about frequency, we're talking about oscillation. And so in this general piece, in terms of energetic kinesthetic, is the arena of quantum, meaning that it is how the very frequency that exists materializes into reality. And so we're looking at this not just from a perspective of light, we're looking at the very foundation, the very fundamental and foundational pieces of reality itself. So that makes me effectively what I would label a quantum evolutionary. Now, going a little bit further, then core values. That's a very big part of what's called the dark matter body system. And in this case, it's just really a part of our emotional body. Unity, autonomy, and wisdom. These are the three areas that I am most connected to. Unity, perhaps like oneness, yet unity also for me is a matter of family. It is going a little bit further if we reference yesterday's topic or day 15's topic in terms of intrapersonal. It's all of me. I'm gathering and connecting all of myself. That is the light and that is the darkness. That is the entirety and the totality of who I am. And only then am I able to take that into relationship with my children, with the world around me, the very place that I live. Now, going into that a little bit further then, that goes into effectively authentic connection and oneness is what my emotional body really holds. Skill set, then this is a physical body piece. We have generally 4, all the things related to this whole concept of quantum wizardry ties back to a very foundational piece, which comes to force. So for me, my skill set is around influencing, strategic and executing, experiential facilitation, soulful alignment, and what I call organizational ecology. So co-creating fields of collective intelligence. What am I here really to do in terms of where am I able to most focus my energy here and now with my genius is working within groups to kind of streamline deeper connectivity and authentic relating. So as we go through all that, then this quantum evolutionary concept is that I really am here to support in connecting in a deep way and actualizing this collective legacy. I'm going to switch from this screen out. So I can go back here. Aha, hey, great to see you again. All right, and so a big part of that then is looking at how is it that we can do this, all right? If this is sort of my genius, right? And this tying back to authentic exchange, right? The true value that I have to provide. When I'm clear upon what that is, everything begins to change. And so there can be things that do and do not align, and it's upon me to discern which is which, because otherwise I'm actually doing a disservice to myself and ultimately to the world around me. If it doesn't fit within my genius, it's not worthy of my time right now. And the genius will allow me to sit at a number of different seats, right? Depending upon, and it's upon me to figure out who it is I want to exercise my genius with, and also who is it that can ultimately help me in the fulfillment of my own legacy. Because as we get into this area right now, in the very evolution of human consciousness, things get to be pretty big. And bigger than any one person can actually fulfill, complete, and actualize on our own. And this will lead into our next concept that we're going to talk about tomorrow, which is this concept of almost like an economy of energy. Attention is the new currency. So how are we actually spending our awareness? And how does that then relate back to our authentic exchange and into our collective legacy? Woo! Lots of fun things to talk about. This is only day 16. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a little bit of an update. I'm going to consolidate, talk a little bit more about what we've discussed thus far, and create a more streamlined system in the whole process. And then we'll get into the concept of this economy of energy and currency of attention. For now, though, that's it. Love and aloha.